is 5 months enough to drum up interest? Like, I'm silly enough to believe that they could possibly just put a tweet out like 2 months ahead, and then the whole of X just loses their shit and everyone's excited again. I am an official England athlete. I'm not having this. I'm taking this personally. Tom, Jack, I need all of them in right now.
It's producer Steve. Hey. Right, producer Steve's here, everyone. So
Maybe he's not actually here. He can't respond.
Well, no, he's not. I mean,
Steve!
hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 101 of the FM Show podcast. I am, of course, your host, Tony Jameson, joined, as always, by the dream team, RDF Tactics, aka Aaron Falloon, and the one and only Maggio. Fellas, it's been about 12 minutes since we last recorded, because we did episode 100, which was the Football Manager phone-in, which was fantastic. Absolutely loved that. Thank you so much for everyone who got in touch and asked us questions and made us think, and we had a great time chatting away with members of the community. The reason we're doing a double record is because we actually had people send videos as well. Now, we mentioned we had some video content to talk through, so we figured we'd just get that done straight away as well and give everyone a little gift, I suppose. Does that seem fair, Si?
Yeah, but before we do, in those 12 minutes, we've had some breaking news, which by the time this goes out, it won't be quite so breaking.
No.
But
time
me
of
and Aaron
recording
have
is the
seen
14th of June, so just to timestamp this, right?
But it might be, you know, we'll get out of there. So, Tony, as you know, Italy have got rid of Spalletti because they're in danger of not qualifying for the World Cup next year.
Okay, I did not know that. That's the first part of this issue.
They got rid of Spalletti. I don't know if he's still on sabbatical from the spaghetti sabbatical. That's a mouthful. From Napoli. But I don't think he is now that they've won the league. But he was on sabbatical from them. Anyway, they have just appointed a new manager. Now, there's a lot of Italian. I'll give you some clues. He's Italian, right? And he's a fairly prolific ex-player. That'll give you a little bit of a hint. Can you guess who the next Italy manager is going to be?
A fairly prolific Italian player who's now in charge of the national team.
Yes.
Fabrizio Ravanelli.
It is not Ravanelli.
Why did I think you were going to say Fabrizio Romano?
Fabrizio Romano announced it.
How little do you think I know about football? Oh, some journalist
No, it
probably.
wasn't even that. It was just, I was like, for my head just... Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a
it's
little
not
I think we'll
Ravanelli.
get it in free
to
guessing.
follow up. He did play in the UK.
He played in the
That's
UK.
right, Aaron now as well.
Right.
Yeah, I know who it was. I'm like, wait.
Is it Paolo Di Canio?
It's not Paolo Di Canio.
I can imagine that.
Because just when you said UK, I was like, oh, Di Canio played for Celtic. So maybe it's the other one.
But he played for West Ham as well.
Maybe it's the other one. Is it Gattuso?
Yeah,
Gattuso's in charge of the national team, the Italian national team.
Which is kind of funny because I don't think he's lasted more than a season in a job. He's had about 10 managerial jobs, and I don't think he's lasted any time in any of them.
I
Wasn't
was
he in
just following
Croatia?
heavily in the Croatian league as well, and
There you go.
like he said, sometimes they may be good, sometimes they may be shit.
Yeah, he was at Hajduk, wasn't he, most recently?
Congratulations to Gattuso for being in charge of the Italian national team. And by the time this video goes out, commiserations to Gattuso for being sacked in charge of the Italian national team.
Based on his career and Italian national team managers, that I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Oh, speaking also of real football news, and I'm aware I haven't been around to celebrate this properly, but Sunderland did a thing at Wembley. I was there. It was great, whatever, right? Pre-season friendlies have been announced, and there's a pre-season friendly been announced of Fenerbahce versus Sunderland, which means Jose Mourinho versus Luke O'Nien. Who is going to get sent off first? I quite like the idea of that.
Feisty friendly, man.
Yeah,
Because they ain't playing about. They ain't coming to play no friendly. They want to win.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. If I want my players fit and healthy for the season coming, that is probably one friendly I'm avoiding.
Yeah, that's when you let your assistant manager pick the friendly and you're like, why did I got that? was kind of hoping you just pick like some local pub side or something, but no Fenerbahce away.
They'll be doing flares and all sorts for friendly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Right, so let's get into it then. So episode 100, if you haven't already seen it, please go back and watch it. Aaron, did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. I think we're onto something though with the phone in. I like to do a lot more, so guys, keep your ears out. We might ask you to send in some more videos or phone in live as we're doing a podcast record. And I think obviously we've got some things to take on, some structure, probably a stricter structure. No,
look, we're 101 episodes in. We haven't done structure so far. I'm not starting
no
now.
Conspiracy theories.
I was like,
No
FM
conspiracy
Console
theories,
has
'cause I
been
love one.
libelous for 45 minutes now. We have to cut him off at some point.
Yeah. So comment below for how long he actually was on air. But we should say as well, by the way, thank you for people who've put questions in Discord as well. And we do need to start using more of those questions either on Discord or on Twitter or wherever. Use it in our Twitch streams as well. Come and have some conversations with us and ask some questions.
Yes.
And we will of course use them just to spur up and spark interesting conversation on the episodes. And I think those questions in Discord, we've sort of agreed are actual episodes in themselves. Really, there's really good discussion points there.
Yep. And you've also been running the tournament of saves.
Oh, I have.
What
I
have you
almost
named
forgot
it?
about that. Yeah, we're doing and this again will become an episode as well. What is the best FM save? And I've done it kind of like one save plays another save, and then we'll gradually work out what the best save is. So again, if you do want to check us out on Twitter, you'll be able to keep your eyes peeled with where we're at. Again, at the time of recording, so by the time this comes out, we may well have either have the champion or we might have something sort of going on. We've had, let me just pull it up here. We had round 1, which was what is the best save? Is it Journeyman or Glory Hunter? And Journeyman won that one, by the way. Just so, yeah. So Glory Hunter knocked out at the first hurdle. Then we had Director of Football versus Youth Only, and Youth Only smashed that, by the way. Nobody was voting for Director of Football. Only 20% of the viewers said Director of Football. And then this one that's currently on right now, so by the time we have it out, we don't know the answer, but it's what is the best, the Pentagon Challenge or the Reputation Rebuild? That's a tough one, isn't it?
I voted Pentagon.
I went for Pentagon as well.
You guys are voting. That's hey.
There's like thousands of people vote.
Like, you know, like in a general
But what
election.
happens if it's like, ooh, you're not playing a dangerous game.
What happens if it's one vote in it, then under the cider, aren't
yeah.
Exactly. You've just influenced your own poll.
I mean, looking at the results, I don't think we've influenced anything. Like, they've been very one-sided. But yeah, do keep your eyes peeled on Twitter for that. And then, as I said, that will become an episode as to what the best save is. Sorry, Aaron.
Reputation rebuild,
depending on what you reckon.
Reputation builder.
Yeah, reputation builder is a different
reputation.
episode.
Build a reputation, yeah. Ooh,
Destroy a nation.
Never mind. It's basically the same thing. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
I thought I was onto something that would build a reputation, but it's effectively the same thing as build a nation.
I think so.
It's effectively the same
Like I've invented a new save.
Yeah, I'm on tarnish a reputation. That's. Shall we jump to it? Shall we jump some questions in?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Let's see if I can get this one to work, because it's going to require me doing some technicals, which is never a good thing. Okay. And I'm going to share my screen like you would do if you're at work, right? So let me do it.
Ooh.
Now, does anybody recognise this face?
Yeah, I do.
It's Producer Steve. Hey. Right, Producer Steve's here, everyone. So let's...
He's not actually here. He can't respond.
Well,
to
no,
us.
he's not. I mean...
Steve! What's he looking at me like that?
Yeah, he looks tired as well at the start of this video. But right, let's
Is he going to ask us about FM22? I've not played FM22 in a long time. I know you guys tried to get him to play more recent ones many times.
Yeah, I think he's.
If I hear Fiorentina, I might piss myself.
Aaron, hold that thought.
No, when? Oh.
Right, take it away, Producer Steve.
Hello, everyone.
Yay!
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Steve.
How are you? Good to see you all again. And 100 episodes of the FM show. Well, who'd have thought it when we started all that time ago? Very happy to have been a part of it at the beginning. And glad to see you guys are prospering onwards as I knew you would. So one query or comment that I had for you, Tony and Aaron, was what was your very first Football Manager or Championship Manager memory? Which game was it? Which save was it? What is the first that you remember playing this wonderful game, which has taken up so much of all of our lives? I'm still playing Fiorentina FM save, by the way. 10 spaghetti at this point in 3 Champions Leagues. Yes, of course. However, that was not my first, far from my first FM save. That was in the 0102 Championship Manager edition. And it was Roma. So it was still in Italy, but my love affair with Florence did not start back then. It was the Roma, the year after Fabio Capello had won the Scudetto with them. And that gave me the impression that Roma were the top team, one of the top teams in Italy. Not this was like a sort of 30 or 40 or 50 year, I was about to say aberration, but what I meant was a unique thing to have happened. So that was the 0102 save. And I remember it because the Supercoppa Italia started the season back then. And I won it. I think Antonio Cassano, it was the Totti Cassano team for Roma. We won that Supercoppa Italia final. And I found in the office of my childhood home what must have been an old insurance trophy that my parents had won. And I wrote Supercoppa Italia in pencil on it. And I lifted it aloft like a little loser that I was, you know. So that's my first memory of this game that we all love. So what are yours? Hope you're all well and see you all soon, I hope.
Oh, wait, I forgot he's not here.
I love the fact that you waved to him, Aaron. It was beautiful. See you, Steve. Should point out as well, by the way, Steve, Si's here as well now, so you should probably send a lot of
He's
Si.
just jealous now. That's it. It's okay.
Hi, Aaron. Hi, Tony. Producers.
Yeah. Hi, Aaron. Hi, Tony. Hi, Simon. And who's this? Like a jealous
What
ex.
was he going to tell me?
He's one of he only listens to episodes where he's in it.
Oh, first, that's just too difficult.
First
And you know
memories.
what? I have 2 saves in my head that I remember clearly that I enjoyed. These are saves that you would be proud of me if I did it this year, because it was like one of those saves that it was my whole cycle sort of thing. So the first one was Rimini. I don't know how to pronounce the team's name.
Crazy
It's
Frog.
Well, the city's Rimini. I can't remember.
Yeah,
the team
that
names.
team there. I don't know how I got to manage that team, but I remember that team specific. Oh my god! So the 2 saves are both in Italy. 2 saves, same formation, 4-4-2 diamond. So I remember that, yeah, with Rimini, and there was a striker called Daniel Van Tagliato. Again, butchered the name, but yeah, he was one of those 50 goals a season striker, and that's when I felt like that was like one of the years where I was like, oh my god, I'm actually good at the game. Like that was me by myself, not having to use a tactic or whatever. So that was And another one, I don't know the actual years of these games though. And another one was AC Milan, and that was one that I remember I'd been at my nan's house, and that was the one. Yeah, these are the what that save there. So when I go to like, obviously taking my son to the England game, but that's through obviously working with England. But I always like, oh my days, it all started from then when my nan and granddad used to say, get off that bloody computer, blah 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 blah. The game's nothing. It's basically a game, blah blah blah. Just get off the computer. And me there trying to squeeze every little second I can. And yeah, it feels like all of those moments obviously led to this like a big moment for me. But I remember that save though, the Milan save, and that was just me. Basically, Galacticos just signing the best players in the game, sort of thing, and just mashing them into a 4-4-2 diamond. Baptista days.
I like that.
Baptista.
I do like that. A bit of 4-4-2 diamond in Italy, Si. You can't go wrong.
That's
can you?
crazy. Italy.
It's good, yeah. Oh, I don't know what mine would have. I mean, he didn't ask me, so it doesn't really matter. But
I'll ask you, Si.
Yeah.
Hey, Si, what's your earliest
care,
football
Si.
manager memory?
I mean, I was about to say I don't remember, but that would then not be a memory, would it? So See, it's a weird thing because I've killed Aaron there.
I'm gone. I'm gone from that last.
I'm like,
man.
I can remember signing, and it wouldn't have been Foot Manager. It would have been probably Player Manager or LMA Manager, because it was probably one of the ones on console. I did have one of them on PC, but I don't remember which one. Maybe one of the Championship Managers. But I remember always signing Shearer because he was like always, the best player to sign. And it doesn't matter how much my transfer budget, I'd always try and get Alan Shearer. I don't think it would have been Portsmouth because I don't think Portsmouth would have been in the game. They might have been, depending on the game.
Losers.
But I know when football, one of them came out, I used to play as Arsenal quite a lot. Look, he's laughing at me and I'm playing as Arsenal. I used to play as Arsenal quite a lot because that was always like, they had quite a good team. And, when you're younger, you just play as the good team, right? It was like it was like the Football Manager equivalent of glory hunting. Sorry, anyone who just loads up the game and plays as Real Madrid.
No, don't apologise to them.
This is why I'm confused about how I got at Rimini, because I was the sort of person that I would play the good. I would just be the good team.
Yeah.
I'm not picking Serie C and grinding my way up. I'm a young kid. So how I ended up at this Rimini team, I have no idea.
I would play Portsmouth when I could, but it would be tough. It would be hard.
You
Especially
can say that
for a
again.
kid.
I understand that.
Yeah. So I like a lot of my early saves probably were like Arsenal well, we did 2-player as well, so it would often be me and my brother, because LMA Manager you could play 2-player, the OG network save, and you'd be like you'd make him go out the room while you did all your transfers, and then you'd be like, I'm done now. He'd come in the room, take over the controller. You'd have to go out the room. You had to trust that he didn't switch back to your profile and do something, and you had to trust that he didn't do the same. But yeah, we used to do that. I think LMA Manager let you do that.
Saying that, I do have a memory of my cousin asking me to be the youth team manager, and just had me sitting next to him. Didn't let me touch the mouse. Didn't let me touch the keyboard. It just gave me a time.
It's like giving you the controller that's not plugged in.
But you know what it is now. Now I'm older. I know what it is. That he wanted someone who played the game to see someone like him play the game, because no one else plays the game, sort of thing. So he's like, I need someone to see what I can do in this game, sort of thing. So I was just that little tag along. Oh, look at this guy. He just says yes to everything. You want to be my youth manager?
I love the idea as well of like him maybe like not letting you see players who are like 21 and over. Go, no, can't see him. No. But,
not old enough.
17. What do you reckon of this lad? Do you reckon he's any good? And you're like, oh, he was 9. He's 9.
I actually had no input. Like the worst thing, it felt like he was teasing me. He would watch the under 18s friendly. And I'm like, that's my time to shine. I'm supposed to be doing something here. But no, I was just sat in his chair, just eating snacks.
Yeah, I remember Ian McIntosh used to be full on that. Like he would manage the under 18s and under 19s and their training schedules and stuff. And I'm just like, mate, what are you doing? Like, no one's got time to do that. Surely, like I must admit, my memories, my memory in general is pretty poor. But in terms of Football Manager memories, we've had him on the show, Kevin Toms. I remember playing Football Manager, Kevin Toms. But if we're talking about this Kevin Toms, yeah, like our Kevin Toms that we had, who did the Kevin Toms Football Manager.
Oh yeah.
I remember playing that when I was a kid. But I remember playing the first Championship Manager, because that's hence how we are where we are. And I remember the guy. So I remember that someone used to look after us whenever my mum would go out. Like, and so it's like babysitting essentially, right? But it couldn't have been. Actually, it couldn't have been, because we would have been too old for that. There's a guy a couple of doors next to us. He had an Amiga, so I used to play on that. I forget what the dynamic was, but I would play on that. This sounds awful now on a podcast. Some dude on a computer and I play on that.
Did that the guy had an Amiga? I was like,
yeah. But I remember when we did the show in Newcastle, he turned up to the show, and I'd never seen him for about 30 years or something, 20 years or whatever. So that was really interesting. Yeah, it would have been about 20 years something at the time. But I remember playing Championship Manager, obviously at school and stuff, writing formations and that in the back of your school book and stuff. I remember printing profiles off on a printer as well, because that's what we used to do back in the day. print thing. And there's a player that stood out. I remember a player called Jiri Novak, who's a Polish midfielder. I'm not sure if if he's real or whatever. I've never seen him in the game since, but I was like, he's the guy. I'm going to get him. And at uni, we had a sort of network save going on with a couple of flatmates and stuff. Dean Keats was immense in that save, and I discovered Shinji Ono in Japan in that save as well. And 0102, I bought Labinot Harbutsi, who's a Swedish fella who was like incredible at the same time as Zlatan. So I think memories are like sort of, they're all, like you sort of touched upon itself, it's like those really great saves that sort of like permeate in your heads, and there are just moments where you go, you know what, yeah, that's what I remember. But yeah, the earliest memory would have been the first one. Does that make sense, Steve? You happy with that? I think he's happy with that, isn't he? Yeah.
Producer Steve's in my ear. He says yes.
Cool. How's he
said
here?
get off my show.
Didn't even know that you're in this this show.
This beef is good. We're creating this imaginary rivalry.
Yeah, I like it. Right. Cool. Well, that was nice to see producer Steve.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Because, of course, he was one of the OGs of the FM show, and, of course, from our time in the Athletic as well. So that's very, very nice to see him.
OG Fiorentina.
Do we have some more? Si, I've sent some more over for you.
We do. Let's load one up.
Let's go through it. We've got producer Steve. Now, if you're doing it in order that I can see on my screen, then presumably the next one is wearing a hat. Sorry, this is like... Nope, the next one is
not wearing
Freddie
a hat.
Quinn.
That's called a bald head, Tony. I know you haven't seen one before.
Yeah, I thought you were doing it in order that I was on my screen. But no, this is Freddie Quinn, by the way. Very, very funny comedian. He is one of the co-hosts of Dead Men Talk podcast. He's been on a Patreon episode with us as well previously. So again, if you are part of the Patreon, go back and check his episodes out.
He looks like he's about to open up with a joke.
Which one?
He looks like he's about to open up with a joke.
He does look like it, doesn't he? He does look like, yeah. So we've had Freddie on, and we've had producer Tom on as well. There's a couple of producers on here, side, but no pressure. So yeah, let's see what Freddie's got to say, shall we?
The producers. We're bringing back Mel Brooks is bringing back Spaceballs. We're bringing back the producers.
Yeah,
there you go. Topical reference as of 2 weeks ago.
And producers.
You never had a Spaceballs, Aaron?
As well.
You had a Spaceballs?
No,
it's a film.
Aaron's not seen Spaceballs. But the producers
it's
are
about
great
40
film.
years old now, and they've just announced Spaceballs 2 about 40 years later. Mm-hmm. You know, it was a reference 2 weeks ago when this episode goes out.
Yeah.
Football Manager 26. My abiding thought is that I don't think it's going to come out in November. The reason for this is just because of the absolute stonewall silence and the lack of any sort of social media post or communication from Sports Interactive. I feel as though if they had a game, if they had anything that was playable, let alone good, I feel like they would be shouting from the rooftops about it because they know the community and the players need something. They know that they need something. And the fact that they are giving them nothing, to me, is a surefire sign that there is nothing that we would want to see. So for me, I think the most likely scenario in the current state is that it gets delayed again. And what they put out is a game that they literally have to put out, not one that they're proud of. I don't know what's happened. I don't know whether or not it is the extra features, the new game engine, what they've done. But yeah, I think that they are in real trouble. And like I say, given that Sports Interactive have just gone a year without having any sales at all, you would think that they would be absolutely desperate to have pre-sales in, to have interest, to really be showing the community that this is something that is worth it. It's worth the wait. It's going to be huge. And nothing. So for me, that's a surefire sign that the game is not in a good position. Certainly not in a position that they would want anyone to see. And it's been 2 years in the making.
Tony, you said he was a comedian before he came on just then. That was the most depressing thing I'd heard. And he said it with a smile on his face as well.
I was optimistic today, and that was just like, I'm looking at the calendar again.
Is he a dark comedian? Does he write dark comedies?
He does do dark comedy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But I did. To be fair, I saw Freddie. So I know Freddie is a big FM player, as is Rob, who's his co-host, and Tom, who's the producer. They're all big on FM, and we know Jamie Hutchinson is a big FM player as well. We are trying to get Jamie on. And trying to get that sorted. And I saw that Freddie was tweeting about FM the other day, so I was like, right, can you do me a favour? Can you do me a little like talking head and just send it over? So he said that, and basically that was his Twitter persona was, the game is getting cancelled, it's not happening. So I was like, right, send me that, let's debate it. Because we didn't actually have that on any of the episode 100.
Thoughts. Interesting you should say that, considering we're now recording this 2 weeks in advance, and in episode 100 more than one person said that we will find out something in the next 2 weeks. So when this episode comes out, we could have just made Freddie look very stupid.
Yeah, so
ever since that producer Steve video, he's become a little bit, this right.
Solly, just
you know what? I had if it was. If there was assumed to be a November release, then I hear it, right? Is 5 months enough to drum up interest? I'm silly enough to believe that they could possibly just put a tweet out 2 months ahead, and then the whole of X just loses their shit and everyone's excited again. But at the same time, that's not their whole... That's not where...
It's not their vibe, is it?
Help me. That's just not their customer pool, right? X is not their customer pool. There's customers everywhere. It's not just X. But I'm silly enough to. I was actually when he was talking, I was debating in my head. I was like, is 5 months enough to drum up interest? Because what you would want to do, maybe you don't want to post about the game, but you still want your account to be active, because when it comes that time to actually, I don't know why I'm talking like this, because I heard this from someone else, so I'm just copying what they're saying. But when it comes that time to release the game, you want your account to be active, because then by then you will have many more eyes on your tweets when it comes to releasing the game, as opposed to just randomly saying, hey, a new game is coming out next month. You would want months and months of activity on your social media, because then when it comes to that time, you've got the maximum eyes on your account, sort of thing. So,
but I think we all agree though that if Sports Interactive tomorrow morning, and bear in mind we're recording on a Saturday, if they announced on a Sunday, right, all they had to do was put a picture of FM26 release date, and that was their post, and I know it's not their style. We all know that would be trending on Twitter within minutes. It would be all over Facebook. It would be on Reddit. Our stream numbers would increase, because we'd have people jumping in going, what do you think of the news? Have you heard the news? Have you seen this? And so I don't think they do need to actually post anything. The only thing I think would be the issue was if they post FM26 and a release date, the response would be, and now what? What does it look like? Show us what it looks like. And if they're just trying to drum up business, being like, hey, nice weather, isn't it? Show us FM26. Yeah. That's all you get. What's your
It's that sort of thing, right? Still, I think Fort Manager in this weird... is their company a big company? Is it a small company? And I still think they're in this weird position where I think their community is small enough to do that. They could just randomly post a tweet, and then is it small enough or unique enough to the point where their one tweet will literally break that community? The internet, it will just break it completely. It will be absolutely mental. It'll be all you see on Twitter. Every content creator will be making a video about it, whatever it is, streams, whatever. People will have an urge to turn the camera back on. For those who haven't, speaking about myself, that haven't turned the camera on, they've now got a reason to turn the camera on. Those that haven't been watching streams will now have a reason to watch those streams again. So I think they've got this unique community where I feel that they don't necessarily need time to actually announce it, but at the same time, business, someone mentioned business early, what is best for business? Probably it would be to have the account active to them when you are posting something that important you don't want to take no risk, right? You want maximum eyes.
But just to query that, and Si, I'm going to put this across to you to have a think about. SI know that if they post, let's just say they're going to post a release date, right? That's all they're going to do. They're going to post an image and a release date, and that's it. They know that every newspaper is going to pick up on it and write about it.
Yeah.
And go, new football managers here, and they're going to have their tweets. So it's going to go. Their social media posts are going to start blowing up. You know, we know that someone like Jack at Sport Bible is going to write an article on it. That's going to get big traction. Reddit is going to do big numbers. So all these like little sub areas that have their own massive audiences will be pushing stuff out as well. Is it a bit like football fans returning to a club when something goes well? Like loads of people walk out of clubs when clubs get relegated and they go, I'm not renewing my season ticket, forget it, right? But when that club gets back into the Premier League and all of a sudden the queues are around the stadium doors, all they have to do is just be there. Like, and people come back. We know people are going to come back. Or am I thinking about this too simplistically, Si?
Well, people will come back. I think anyone who says, "Oh, they're boycotting," I mean, there's the joke now is everyone says they're boycotting 25, but anyone who says they're boycotting 26, like they're not. They'll be back. There's a famous picture.
That's not comedy.
There's a
That's funny to me. I don't know why boycotting FM25 is.
There's a famous picture out there of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 or something. Everyone going and it's a Steam group, and it says boycott Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 release date, and it was about servers. That's all it was about. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 release date. You can actually see what every member is playing, and all of them are playing. They're all in this boycott group. All of them are playing the game, and I think it's going to be that with Football Manager, but I think he's on. I think he might be right, and it does worry me. And having watched this last weekend, I don't know if any of you've been following other game news, but have either of you heard of Mind's Eye?
I've seen something about that, yes.
Okay, right. So Mind's Eye is a game that just got released from former GTA developer, producer, one of them. And the Hitman, the publisher is the Hitman publisher. So, it's a decent publisher. They're not the actual studio. Really buggy, really mediocre or bad game. Also very, very, not ready to be played. And there is a lot of bad, negative news about it. And that's my worry. And maybe this is what they avoided with 25. But my worry is 26, they have to put something. Because this is what people are saying about Mind's Eye. It got to the point with Mind's Eye, they had to put it out. Like, there will be devs who work at, I think it's called Build a Rocket Boy, the development team. It's a weird name for a studio. There'll be devs there who are going, no, the game's not ready. It's too buggy. Like, we know there's these bugs. It's not fun. Like, we can't send it. And someone higher up's going, gotta send it. Out of money, gotta send it. Publisher, cut money off. Gotta send it. We've got dates. We've got to send it, or we'll hit the GTA deadline, right? And that's it. And now it's just causing a big. They're having to issue refunds on Steam, on PlayStation, which very rarely do they do. I think they did it for Cyberpunk a few years ago. Now, you can turn it around. Cyberpunk, of course, turned it around. But my worry is that we get something half... I know a lot of people have been saying this for quite a while. I don't think it's going to happen, but it is a worry of mine that we do get something half-baked in September, November, whenever... That wasn't me announcing a date. I don't know when it is. It was just
Stop announcing things.
There was also that as well, innit? People were like, is it going to be November then, or is it going to be March, as the other one's going to be March? So, this is a difficult thing, right? With the communication, going back to that communication thing, it's difficult for people because it's there's a lot more questions now. Because you've taken things away, now people are asking, are those things coming back? Because you moved the date to March, now is that the new date, or are we going back to November? And these are the things, again, it's just left in there. People just left to their own thoughts. But I don't think I'm worried about... Do you know why I'm not worried about it? I think if you've been playing the game for a very long time, we have, your expectations will be high. But, United Kev, I'm not saying their expectations are low, but United Kev and Brazilian 3 both said they're enjoying Football Manager 24. to them, it's a very good game. To me, I wouldn't rank it as a very good game. To them, it is. It's a very enjoyable. To me, it's not, sort of thing. So I think the general public, if I can put it that way, the general public's opinion might be way more positive than it is for a lot of other people that have been playing the game for many, many, many years. And that are content creators. Obviously, content creators, they're not like that relevant when it comes to like their importancy, and if their feelings are more important than the public. But yeah, I just think some people there's still going to be some loud noise about the displeasure. Whereas I still think majority of the people will still enjoy a new Football Manager game. I'm just confident that Football Manager will give out a good game.
Yeah. I have faith in Sports Interactive. And I know some people don't, and that's fair enough. But, like, you know, when we're kind of privileged in that we've met and spoken with people at Sports Interactive, right? And maybe that does give us a little bit of a bias. Like, we're not paid shills, but ultimately, yeah, we've met real people who work at the studios.
See, it comes across as bias. I think we've got more understanding of what they're doing, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I think that's what I got a lot more understanding of how their business works, and I'm like, that's why they can't. Like, before I was like, why can't you just put a tweet out? Just put a tweet out. Then you start listening to people that actually learned about the laws and stuff. I'm like, okay, it makes sense. They can't just put a tweet out then.
But that is my worry, that not everything's up to Sports Interactive, and there is shareholders. And if I know anything about shareholders, they're arseholes.
They don't share. Oh.
They don't share.
They don't share. They do not share.
Like at some point, Sega goes, you got to drop this. And Sega have put out Sonic games which are absolute dog doo-doo. I don't know what I didn't swear. We can swear on this pod.
Yeah.
Dog shit.
Sega, my doors are still open.
Yeah, that's it. They've got Sega. I'm surprised Football Manager Man isn't in Sega All-Star Racing Saga. The new one, what is it called? Sonic Racing Transform. He was in the old one, wasn't he? Football Manager. He was called the Football Manager. And you could play as him, but this time they got Minecraft Steve. You guys have got blanked faces. Did you not know that Football Manager Man was a playable
Steve again? Huh? Did you just call him a Minecraft?
Well, block it.
You know, have you heard of Mario Kart? You know Mario Kart.
I've heard of Mario.
Right.
How old do you think I am? Have you heard of Mario Kart?
That's disrespectful.
Well, there's a Sonic.
Just you wait till my Mario Kart podcast comes out.
There's a Sonic version of Mario Kart, right?
Sonic Racer, yeah.
Yeah, and in Sonic Racing, one of the playable characters is Football Manager.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But in like one of the earlier ones, there's a new one that's coming out soon, and they were announcing characters the other day. I watched the whole press conference. I was hoping Football Manager Man, but no, they showed Minecraft Steve, and they showed the ones from the Yakuza video game. They showed other Sega games. Obviously, Minecraft Steve's not Sega, but no Football Manager Man. Not yet, anyway. Apparently, he's not one of Sonic's friends, so... Never mind.
Well, there you go.
Would you like another question?
They've fallen out publicly. I've just loaded up another question into the drive there.
They're flying in.
Si, from a listener who should have been actually on episode 100, but they're actually on holiday at the minute, so I had to get them to give us access to the drive in order for us to put the question on. So it is on there now. So I don't know if you can see that in the drive here or not. It's not that guy. This is a listener technically. This is Richard Owens.
Now this man's got silly views. Do we have to listen to him?
I mean, well, look, he sat next to me at Wembley. So,
okay, definitely very silly.
Congratulations on 100 episodes of FM Podcast. Traditionally, in the life cycle of a podcast, this is where Tony would leave after being offered a job by Ian McIntosh, and I would somehow take over. So looking forward to working with you all soon.
I did call it
In the
silly.
meantime, I have a question for you. We are, of course, approaching the one-year anniversary of the 2024 FIFA E-World Cup, where some of the panel managed England in the Football Manager category. Should the competition ever return, my question for the panel is, who would you like to see taking the managerial and assistant managerial hot seats for England or possibly other home nations? Love you all very, very much, and hopefully I'll see you all very, very, very soon. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.
I'm glad he added that at the end. No, it's just Rich, you've asked your question. I'm glad he added that at the end because...
No, wait. What do you mean? Who would you like in a hot seat? The manager's hair.
Hey.
Right, well...
Did you win? Did you win? The manager gets sacked when they don't win.
No, but my contract is not over, so wait for that.
You got a contract?
But yes, I am an official England athlete. I'm not having this. I'm taking this personally. Tom, Jack, I need all of them in right now.
I mean, we have Matt. We can drag Matt in right now. So,
I'm still going England games.
So when they announced Aaron, a lot of people went, "Why isn't Tony with him?" I was like, "Well, Tony was like living up to it." And I was like, "Tony, you go on so much about Scotland. You cannot represent England. That would be I would rinse you if you represented England now. I know you're probably half English, but you wear a Scotland shirt.
Look, there was a long list of reasons why I should not be Aaron's assistant manager. Right?
Okay, let's say you're chosen for Scotland, who would be your assistant?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
It's got to be someone Scottish. Just
does it have to be though?
I don't know. Aaron, where was everyone at the FIFA World Cup the nationality that they were representing?
Because also, I don't know if this is known, by the way, Aaron was very openly wanting to manage Jamaica until England called, and then he quickly binned them off.
It was just so funny because when they got announced, it's like, I have no chance of managing England. Like, that's just stupid. The amount of people that's going to apply for that. So I'm just like, well, I might be the only Jamaican dude that's playing Football Manager.
Yeah, look at those loyalties shifted very quickly, didn't they?
I'm English, fully English.
I'll just throw it out there. I'm eligible for an Irish passport if anyone wants to. If apparently England's already covered, so
Okay,
I'll do the old.
Who do I want?
Yeah,
to
you. I was going to say, it's covered. Don't even try and put those ideas out there. I need my job.
I'll do the old
contingent,
Ireland 1990 team and just change from being born in Liverpool to being born in Cork.
Yeah, because Liverpool people got that. They can do that, innit? They can just change things.
It's not people from Liverpool. It's people with Irish grandparents. There just happen to be a lot of them in Liverpool.
Sorry, I was just taking the shot. Just like Liverpool fans. I'm sorry.
They're like, you're from Liverpool. Sure, you can just change whatever nationality you
they
like.
can just do what they want. Apparently, like They can just denounce someone Scouse. Oh, he's no longer Scouse. I don't know how.
He's now Spanish. He speaks fluent Spanish. Who knows?
I'm fed up of being Scouse. I was maybe Croatian. Why not just change it? Why not?
It's that fruit of rabbit. Yeah, go on, sorry.
Who do I want as my Scottish number two? Or my Scottish number one, technically, and there's number two.
Is he a Macintosh Scottish?
Macintosh was the guy I was thinking of, to be honest. Adam Cleary. His dad's Scottish, so he would be eligible for that. So I think, and Cleary's very, very good at Football Manager and football. So, JJ Bull maybe. That could be fun.
He's Scottish?
Yeah, very Scottish, Aberdonian. Me and him would not get much management done, I don't think. We'd be entertaining. There's no Scotland, no party. Songs. Me and JJ Bull turn up, do that. They're my answers. Adam Cleary sensible, Ian McIntosh sensible. Fuck it, me and JJ Bull. We'll have a couple of iron brews and we'll go home early. Be great.
Now we're not spoiled about Wales, but I think for Wales, GYR FM. If you don't know, master tactician. So he's got to be the assistant, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking. I mean, a good friend of the show, FM Console, very Welsh, of course.
FM Girl Alice, very Welsh.
FM Girl Alice, very Welsh as well. So maybe one of those two. Maybe we put them in a wrestling ring, they fight it out, and then one of them, whichever one wins, can go with GYR. There's probably some other very Welsh person that I forgot, and I apologise.
Again, you could also have the lives close enough, so probably is just about Welsh enough. Again, that's how I'm getting with the Scotland rule.
Steve Hood, I think he lives in Bristol.
I was just about to say Steve Hood myself.
Steve Hood, yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Irish, Mad FM got to be in with a shout, surely.
I mean, I said I could do it. I don't think I quite count as being. I mean, with this accent, I'm not. Maybe not, but technically, legally, I could.
There you go. That's all it needs to be legally. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't want to be with the 1990 Ireland team. It feels wrong, doesn't it? Although Jack Grealish went the other way, I could be the anti-Jack Grealish. How does that
sound?
Declan
Rice.
And Declan Rice.
Quite
I suppose. Yeah, I don't know how.
And I've
never lived in Ireland. I've spent more time living in Italy.
Okay. So you're going to represent Italy, are you?
As funny as it sounds, I'm not eligible.
No, surely not.
Well, I mean, but a lot of people don't. Like, especially with the pseudonym, a lot of people think I am, and the language. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, right. So are you going to manage Ireland then, and also Northern Ireland as well?
I'm managing England if I get the chance. England managers don't last forever.
Slow your roll.
They don't last forever. You got 6 years, buddy. You better get to a semi-final next time, or chop.
For Northern Ireland, can we have Damo Mackle, who's the professional wrestler, Big Damo? Get him in. He's Northern Irish. He can get on board with that. And he's a big FM fan. And we actually interviewed him on Football Manager Therapy. And there's a famous photograph. Say famous. There's a photograph of him on the beach in Florida wearing a Work the Space Part to Prem shirt, which I thought was pretty cool, to be honest. So we do that, and then we need someone else from Northern Ireland. Who else can we represent
I
Northern
think
Ireland?
Wald is from Wald, if you know.
Who, sorry?
Wald. He's from Northern Ireland.
Wald.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. That'll do. Done.
I think
Thanks, Rich.
we're short on Northern Irish FM players. But I mean, I'm sure we're not. But
Probably not. There's probably a lot.
Top of my
There
head.
probably is a lot.
Yeah. Perfect. Right. We've covered all important nations in the world, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The USA. There was no USA last time.
No, there wasn't. I imagine Zealand's probably top of their
Yeah,
list.
It's hard not to say it.
Who do you partner him with?
Loans?
Maybe Stan's the big streamer he's been playing with.
Yeah,
he's been
Stans,
been
he's
like-
playing.
I don't think Zealand's probably the person that could take the role of the manager and the assistant at the same time. He's
Zealand
probably one that
and-
could just
and-
consult with himself. Like
Zed Lasso. He's just got
Yeah,
himself,
Zed Lasso,
and then he
yeah.
quickly changes. I don't know if you've seen do you know the film? Right, Aaron, this is an old film again, much like Spaceballs that I referenced earlier. Have you seen the film? Now it's gone out of my head.
Face off.
Why did it go out of my head? Steve Coogan's doing it like on Broadway right now. Oh my word!
I mean, I don't know how it was.
Come on, Aaron. It's right there. Theatre that you're into.
It's about the atomic bomb. With it had the original as Peter Sellers and people like that in it.
Yeah,
Doctor Strangelove. Tony, you never had a Doctor Strangelove?
I have. I'm just waiting. I'm watching the reactions Aaron's face to go what are you on
That's
about?
not me now. I didn't even watch films. That's the thing.
So in Doctor Strangelove, is it Woody Allen or Peter Sellers? Or someone plays about 5 characters. I think it's Peter Sellers. He plays about 5 characters, right, in the film, and like it just cuts between them. In the stage show version, Steve Coogan is playing all the characters. Now the advantage of the film is, and this has gone very off topic, my apologies. The advantage of the film is that you can just cut it, right? But in the stage show, Steve Coogan, every time he wants to talk to himself, the one character has to get a phone call, walk off the stage with the phone, and then he goes round, gets a costume change, and comes sits down on the other side as the other character to reply to him. So yeah, maybe Z could do that in a Football Manager World Cup as himself and Zed Lasso. That was a convoluted way of me saying that, but there'll be some Doctor Strangelove fans out there who will appreciate that.
Do you know what's interesting? Some people say that I derailed the podcast. Shall we return back to some more questions? Thanks for that, by the way, Richard. Really appreciate that.
Questions.
So yeah, we've got 2 more questions left by my calculations.
Yeah. It's Peter Sellers himself. Here we go. This person's remembered me. Oh, if he can stop talking for a second, so I can load him in. Here we go.
I was going to leave that to last because I don't know what the other question actually is.
Oh, you want to do this one last?
Yeah, we've got. There's one from a listener, Ian.
I mean, he's ready to talk to us. He's staring at us.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, cool. We're getting back. It's the Mustard Man, Coleman's himself.
Aaron, Tony, said in alphabetical order, so no favouritism. Sorry I couldn't be with you tonight. I do, however, have a couple of questions for yourselves in chat. 1, does Captain Zeep have the finest beard in the entire FM community? And 2, what is your favourite, smaller, lesser heralded feature in Football Manager? I'll go first. The supporter feedback page about it's just a lovely little touch that I really enjoy visiting, like usually at the end of the season, occasionally through it, being able to understand how those relationships are forming between your players and the fans. I'd love to know what you think.
He's produced a video for us there.
I love Musterman
For
so
the audio
much.
listeners, that's suddenly cut away from Musterman.
I was like, why is it just watching him feels like I'm watching a video? Like, it feels like I'm watching like some sort of guide, whatever. Even he sounds amazing. And then when that thing just popped up on the screen, that just sent me. I lost focus. I don't even know what he said after that.
He's just another level, isn't he? Like, if you've not watched Musterman stuff, you have to go and do it. The man just works so hard, puts great content out. And I didn't even know that supporter feedback feature went into that level of detail. And I messaged him after watching it going, where's this screen?
Do you remember? I'm going to go off topic again, but I don't care. Do you remember when you were at school, right? And you had like those. If like your teacher really couldn't be bothered that day, so they'd wheel in the TV and put a video in. And if it was like the science video, you'd have the science video, and you'd have the voiceover, and it'd always be like a really excitable, really knowledgeable, really smart person, and it was like just the best videos ever. That's Musterman and Deep Lion Playmaker. Those two guys, they can make fantastic guides, and you'd learn at the same time. And you're like, I loved learning that through those videos.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree. Yeah,
that wasn't his question. His question was, what feature what lesser used feature do you quite enjoy?
I've got to rack my brains on this one now as to what do I... Because I guess the thing is that you just do it and you don't realise it's not a thing.
Go on, Aaron, you sounded like you had one.
So I think my one... I don't know if it's like it's got to be a feature. So when you're doing your squad selection, you can pick certain rules. So you know you can press auto pick, right? Mm-hmm. But you can sort of set guidelines for that auto pick.
Yeah.
So you know sometimes you press auto pick, but it could just leave tired plays. Like your assistant manager might pick tired players or whatever. This is generally the very first thing, or one of the first things that I do in a save. Like I'll just go into the tactic and I'll quickly set this guideline where if I pick auto pick, it would only pick it's not match fit people, but it's condition. If they got excellent condition, at least excellent condition and above. So that's probably what 90. It used to be that percentage, so it'd be like 90% and above. So yeah, that's my. I don't think I could live without that, because that allows me to play the Kev way, the Lelujo way, but the assistant manager actually picking only condition players for that game. Because I hated pressing auto pick, but then having to change like 4 players anyway because he's not fit enough to play, and I had to change the squad so much anyway. So yeah, that's probably mine, I think.
I like the player comparison tool, and I don't know how many people use that. So you know when you go to your players and you're looking for like how do I replace them, on the comparison drop down, there's like a little bit where you can compare it against another player. If you find similar players, then it brings you straight into like the search filter to be like, oh, this player is very similar to these sorts of players. And some of them are like wild. You're like, what fuck? I've got like a Kevin De Bruyne in like League 2 or whatever. Like, no, I haven't. But obviously the attributes must be comparable in the sense of like they're really good at dribbling or they're really good at crossing or whatever. So it gives you a bit of a sort of oversight as to, okay, I'm like, what can I go looking for that's like what I've got? And it's good for if you take over a new team as well. You're not really sure. So you're like, well, who are these players a bit like? So I quite like that. I think that's an underused thing. I don't see a lot of people using it. But then once it's there, there's probably, I imagine a lot of people will be like, I'm going to use that all the time. I use it sparingly, but I do quite like it.
Yeah. It's best without the attribute masking, right?
Yeah. But then I have attribute masking on. It still works with attribute masking on, so you still don't see everything, which I guess for me is quite interesting because then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. There's a few players that I can go and scout off the back of that, and I treat it as the scouts have maybe brought some people towards me.
Okay. I just want to show if it still worked with the attribute masking.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So I remember in the network save you pointed it. I think it was you that pointed it out, and then that's when I just like. That's literally how I done my recruitment. I just like go to like Van Dijk, find similar players.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's quite fun. And I got off again, going off on a slight tangent for a feature request is if you so data is a big part of football now. I'm not massively into data anyway, but it could be, again, one of those fun things, right? If you just go to Salah and she's like, find similar players, like, according to data, find similar players to Mo Salah sort of thing. And then, really like that, to be fair.
My one, it's a known feature. Like, a lot of people use it, but like, if you know, when you know how to use it right, you're going to win so many more games. Like, you'll barely lose at all. So it's called the load feature. Basically, when you lose a game, you just go like press load, go back before the game starts, load in. No, it's not that. Actually, what I would use, I had Aaron for a minute then. He was like, yes. Actually, I mean, on that note, I was reading Reddit the other day, mistake to start off with, but someone was like, oh, I discovered something really new about Football Manager, like, dead serious, and they were like, and I'm so much better result, and it was like, if someone rejects my contract, I just like reload the game. I'm like, you haven't discovered something. You're just safe scumming it. Like, if you want to do it, great, but it doesn't make you like an FM maestro. It doesn't make you great at the game. My thing, actually,
I might try that. No, wait, but you don't know that. So, but you don't negotiate contracts. But if you did, maybe think about it. If you're in a room with Cristiano Ronaldo and he's rejected your first offer, how about you just like, hold up, let me load this conversation one more time. Just leave the room. Just come
in real life.
That'd be like,
let's try that again.
Just like turn his watch back one day, going, let's try again.
You've actually raised a really good point.
Forget about it.
A tangent, sorry Tony, tangent time. I've been watching a really, really good TV show recently, and if you haven't seen it, you have to watch it. It's called The Rehearsal. It's a comedian called Nathan Fielder. He's an American comedian. He's very dry, very awkward. And his previous TV show was like a reality TV show, but he's always sort of the butt of the joke, not the other people. So the premise of his new TV show, The Rehearsal, actually it's the second series now, but the premise of it is that you can rehearse a real life situation that you know is going to happen many times before, and like just practice it, so that when you get into the real situation, you have the optimal outcome, right? A bit like a sports thing, but he does it with like stupid situations. So it could be like, the guy has got to tell I'll tell you the very first episode, but it goes wild. It goes like well off track. But the very first one is like, there's a guy on a quiz team who lied to his quiz team about having a master's so that they'd let him on the quiz team. And he has to break to he knows he's like, this is real, by the way. This is not, well, I think it's real. He has to break to them that he hasn't actually got a master's, and he's been lying to them. He lied to them all these years ago, but he's like part of the quiz team. They love him, and he's really good at it. But he doesn't have a master's at all, so he practices. He has like these fake conversations with like actors, and like Nathan Fielder trains all these actors to pretend to be his friends. He rebuilds the bar in which they're going to have this conversation. It goes mental. But that sort of reminded me. Actually, maybe that is kind of like that, right? You could do a rehearsal for the Cristiano Ronaldo contracts.
I think so.
It's a content idea now. I'm going to do it. Like, this episode's not out for 2 weeks. I got a week off next week. I'm going to do that.
Like, so I get these questions in my DM sometimes, because a lot of people still see me as the foot manager, a foot manager content. I am still, but people might just go and they see my pin tweet. Oh, I've just joined the club as a scout, and I'm still getting like, oh, how do you do it? Blah 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 blah. But shit, you not. Before I got that job for many, many months, and I was talking every single time, people were like, you scout, like, it's just in stream, and I'm just telling people, yeah, look, this is why I scout Africa, because you never know what's going to happen, blah, 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 blah. I might get a job, and then I'm already in a position where I can be like, boom, I've got this player, I've got that player, or, and reason why I stopped paying for Y-Scout. Y-Scout is basically a scouting app where you've got access to all football, basically, right? So, but I had that, and then I stopped buying it, and people are like, why have you stopped? And I'm like, because I'm preparing myself for a moment in football where the Y-Scout might be down. How am I going to do in my job? If I'm so used to just Y-Scout, and Y-Scout's the only way, what happens if I need to adjust and do something else, right? But these moments have happened already while I'm doing my job at this moment, but I'm ready equipped. Like, I'm like, they're like, oh, sorry, I'm like, oh, I'm prepared for this. You're good. You know, I'm good. I'm mentally prepared for this for a very long time. You know what I mean? Like, because it's one of those things. If you just keep repeatedly doing one thing one way, and then something just throws you a curveball, then you could be fucked. Whereas I just feel like, I just thought, you know what, let me stop scouting these well-known players. Let me just go to the less well-known players and let me start scouting differently. You don't lose sense of what you used to do, but you're just adding to your skill set. So when you do get into a job, you've rehearsed for that moment. And it's just so crazy how life works out. Sometimes those moments will just happen and fall into your lap.
I'm sorry, my stupid suggestion turned out to be not so stupid in the end.
Don't worry.
I've got a real suggestion.
We can have a
Would you
stupid
like the real
suggestion and make it stupid as well. Don't worry.
Would you like the real one? The real one is when you, especially if you're like a non-league team or a lower league team or something, although I don't know if you'd have this staff role, but if you're like struggling for a transfer or a loan or a free transfer, go to your director of football and ask him to suggest for a position. And he'll normally give you 3 or 4 suggestions, and they tend to be pretty decent, but they tend to be realistic as well. They tend to be ones you can actually do.
Yeah, sometimes it's those realistic ones. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for that one, the kid. I know exactly what he means. I know, yeah. So, sometimes I've
like,
overachieved and I thought my team's at a certain level. So when you try and use that and you think you're at a certain level, you try and use that and you see the suggestions are like, hey, come on, man. But to the director of football, these are still realistic compared to your reputation. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I think it's like when you're at the bottom and you know when you have no wage budget and you need people who come play for you for free and every person you click on is asking for a wage, the director of football will find someone who'll play for you for free. He'll be like, these ones will fit. So I think that's a pretty good one.
Cool. Okay. Right. Excellent.
Last
Some good
one.
suggestions there. So if you've not used those, make sure you start using those and let us know again as to what you think your underused feature is. I'd be interested to find out some more. Right. Last one. Last comment of the day.
Hi.
We've got a hat, by the way.
First of all, congratulations on 100 shows. That's magnificent. Just want to say thanks again for the podcast. Yep, you helped me heal after Scotland's Euro 2024 campaign last summer. I found the podcast last July/August, and you've been a healing presence ever since. Sort of a question or idea I want to throw to you boys today sort of comes from the sort of chat about what is the end game of FM and thinking about sort of the old challenges that it used to have, like work through injury crisis or can't win anything with youth type thing. That the idea is sort of like at the start of your game, you at the beginning of your career, you're building a template of your manager and so forth. Part of that could be, I want to put a prerequisite on what I want to achieve in my career. So for example, Sports Interactive could give some defaults like, I want to do the Pentagon Challenge, win on every continent, or I want to win the Champions League with this club, or, British Steel is something I've just started recently, things like this. And to give some people the opportunity to sort of have like a natural end game or sort of ambition, as it were, to their game. Of course, you can leave it blank and have a rolling save, as it were. But I think it's maybe something that Sports Interactive could consider. Would love your boys' thoughts on the issue. Thanks again.
I like it. I think I've said something similar in the past with like a challenge mode or something. But I think, to say at the start what you want to achieve or what you want to go out and try and do, or like to have some prerequisites and, you can just, Aaron's saying no.
You're not allowing the FM gods to know what you're up to before it happens.
But no, it's not that. Like, I think that there's part of it you need to consider is, I always go back to when we had Mad FM on, he was talking about the region air save and like he says it's difficult for the game to understand that's what you're doing. So if it was a way for you to explain to the game, going, I will only be buying players who are born within this region.
Yeah, like you've got a bias.
Then like, because then you can't then have the board objective of, sign high profile players or like,
They know you're not going to.
No, maybe they do still give you that. I think they still should give you that.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. But it depends, right? Because if you're going to an interview and like So, for an example, you own a club, right? I don't want to say Manchester United, but let's say Manchester United, right? They want to buy big players, blah, 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 blah. But you're a Portuguese guy and you're known to buy Portuguese players. And I'm hiring you knowing that I don't think then there should be like sort of an objective, be like, yeah, but you can buy high reputed players. If I know I'm hiring you for the purpose that what you've done and I know you don't buy those sort of players. So I guess, I don't know, it just depends, right? It could be a make or break in an interview, I guess. Is a club lenient and say, actually, yeah, we'll just follow your lead for now? Or a Real Madrid's going to be adamant, right? A Real Madrid's not going to be like, yeah. The Real Madrid's going to be like, we need Galacticos and Galacticos only sort of thing. Whereas a Bournemouth might be a little bit more lenient. They might be like, we want bigger players, but we'll just follow your lead for now.
I do think
I guess it depends.
You know, when you go in for that interview, when you're asking about a club, and they say, "Is there anything you want to like suggest?" and they never take it on board. Like, but I feel like actually it'd be kind of cool. Like, imagine you are like, "Hey, Thomas Frank, you're coming to join Spurs. Anything you want to suggest?" And he goes, "Yeah, I want to play this kind of football, and I want to do this. Are you okay with that?" And I imagine Spurs would probably go, "Yes," but in the game they never say yes.
Yeah.
They never agree to
Big
anything.
Ange. Remember Ange playing the game? What would he be? Win something in the second season.
Have you ever negotiated your club vision successfully?
No.
I think I have once.
I think it's one of
the
those things.
Tiniest thing.
I think I've tried it before, and it's like, I think I tried it twice, and it'd be like, all right, this thing just doesn't work, sort of thing. So I just avoid it, sort of thing.
I want to know if anyone's managed it. I think I've done it once, honestly, and it wasn't even this year's game. I don't think it's possible. Like, I think it's not impossible, but I think it's like a 1 in 99 chance.
Yeah. No, I agree with him. You know, I think there should be things at the beginning that allows you to set some targets. But even still, I think we said this many episodes ago when we talked about feature requests. Like, it needs to bring back those challenges. Like, it would be so great for your story that you started. Many managers get thrown in the deep end in the start of their career, and it's just like, it would be very nice for you to have that opportunity to do so as well. I guess you could just go on holiday and but it doesn't feel the same like as turning up day one injury crisis, and like you start your career working your way out. In real life, it sort of makes and breaks people as well, sort of thing.
We go back to what we said every single episode, it feels like. What do you want? Do you want realism? That is realism. You've just hit the nail on the head there, Aaron. Like, managers don't turn up on day one and everything's brilliant. Like, usually managers turn up when something's gone wrong. Like, especially mid-season,
Someone's been
sacked, so everyone's pissed off, right? You know, you come in, you're just like, "Hey, everyone, I'm the new guy," and they're like, "Who the fuck are you? Like, why are you here?" Like, but yeah,
this is not throwing shade on Tottenham because I think it's actually a very good example. But when Tottenham were going through that, let's say Tottenham were going through that injury crisis, right, when they literally had no centre backs and no playing a centre midfielder at the back, if Ange got sacked then, and next manager would have to come in and had to deal with that straight away. Like, those injuries don't magically rub away. And I think that you should have that opportunity to start your career off like that. And it's just on your CV sort of thing. And you would remember that, oh my God, this save started with no centre-backs.
And it's great as well when people go, "Oh, you know, can you recommend me a save? Can you recommend me a save?" Yeah, start in the injury crisis, start in the bottom of the league,
Yeah.
You know, like where you got to try and like hold off in the playoffs and your form's just crushed. Take on the save where your star striker's just been sold. Like, and again, that could be a thing. You've just sold like your club icon, and it's like there's a bit of a player revolt. You're like, "Oh God, what do I do now?" Like, the manager's walked out because the player's been sold by the board. You know, that's a great challenge to start in. And you're right, it then throws you straight in, and it could adapt your manager attributes accordingly as well. And it just gives a bit more life and a bit more variety to, oh yeah, so we start at the beginning of the season with the team that I've decided to take charge of, or the 4 unmanaged teams, and I get to pick from each of those 4 teams, and we do the same thing again. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like it, yeah.
There we go. Good suggestion.
Very good. Very good. And you know what? Another good episode, I think. So thank you very much for everyone who's contributed to the episode. And Aaron, I think you said earlier on at the start of the show, I do kind of think we've got a bit of a thing where we could do this more regularly. So if you do have some questions that you want to get to us and put to us, or some thoughts or some comments, maybe we'll look at doing this once a month. I think that seems reasonable.
We've still got some questions in the Discord to answer at some point.
We've got a couple of questions in the Discord, yeah, but I'm thinking like if there's a football manager phone in, we could maybe we can't do it too regularly because it would diminish it.
I would absolutely love. I don't know why. Just imagine a game. Just like guess the phone. Like someone's talking, and we've quite literally got to guess who's on the other line of the phone. Obviously, they're talking football manager stuff, but when it's just like earlier when that caller came in, I'm like, who is this? Like, I actually had the moment. I'm like, he's talking FM, but I'm figuring out who the hell this guy is. I want some anonymous callers as well. Basically, that's what I'm saying. I just want to have a fun game where I can guess who the actual person is.
Do you know what? As a podcast host, I don't want anonymous hosts.
There's 7 billion people in the world, Aaron. Good luck.
Yeah, come on, man. We're detectives. You used to fight mafia.
Right. Okay. Does anyone want to plug the Patreon? We can do...
Patreon.com/the FM show pod if you want to come join us on Patreon from as little as £3 a month. And we've got all kinds of cool stuff, much like the network save we've been playing very, very recently. And Aaron is, well, I'm not going to tell you what Aaron's doing. You have to come watch it to find out.
Yes, absolutely.
I was just dancing along because that was actually fluid.
It was.
You've been so fluid the last few weeks. I had to give it a go myself. I haven't got quite the rhythm you have, but you know,
had a nice little rhythm to that.
Cool. Okay. Well, you know what? Appreciate you all for being part of the show as always. Please make sure you drop a follow and a comment and a like and all that kind of good stuff that you know that we all love and appreciate. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Stay safe, and we'll see you all for episode 102. Triple-digit episodes now. What a world we live in. Take care of yourselves, everyone. All the best. Bye now.